Welcome to D.I.Y with me, Chilamo Zulu, aka Chichi Badu. And on this episode, I will be showing you how you can make a simple hair accessory holder. And I'll run you through the items that you will need. The first item that you will need is your kebab sticks or your skewers, like you can see in front of me. And also your pair of scissors, your glue gun and your glue sticks. I have an extra, as you can see, my glue gun already has a stick, but I have an extra one just in case I run out. And also have my satin ribbon with me. So we're going to go on a break, and when we come back, we're going to go straight into making our hair accessory organizer. Stay tuned.
The world runs on us. At Metro, we understand that life doesn't stop for anyone. That's why we provide quality fuel needed to keep your day running. With our convenient locations and reliable service, you can trust us to keep you moving. So come to Metro Filling Station and let us run your world.
Welcome back. So before we went on our break, I ran you through the items that you need to make your hair accessory organizer, and now we're going straight into making our organizer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to combine our kebab sticks, 2 kebab sticks. I have small ones, but sometimes skewers come in a bigger size than this. So if you have a bigger size or you get a bigger size, there's no need to combine the 2. I'm only combining the 2 because this is the skewers that I only found, and you can't only use one because it will be too light. So you need to put 2 together, combine them with your glue so that you have a thicker skewer. So let's do that together, and of course I'm going to remove the sharp part of the skewers because I don't need them for this tutorial. So let's remove the sharp part and combine the skewers together. So you're going to just cut them off with your hand like that, just a tip, just a small piece like that, and you're going to smoothen out the remaining part with your pair of scissors, like I'm doing right now. I'm just removing the little sticks that are sticking out. So I'm cutting the second one. Like that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my glue to combine the 2 together, okay? I'll get my glue to combine the 2 together. So let's add some glue. I turned on my glue gun earlier on, so it's still hot. So we're combining the 2 sticks together with our glue. Okay. So I have stuck the first part, the top part rather, and the middle part. Now I'm going to stick the bottom part of the 2 skewers with the glue. Remember, we're still using our glue gun, and our glue stick. Hold it together so that it holds firm. Okay. And then at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to stick another pair, and then we'll start wrapping the skewers with our ribbon, and it's going to look like this. This is how it's going to look like when we wrap it. So what we're doing now is just preparing the skewers. Then after we prepare the skewers, we will wrap with our ribbon. So let's combine the next 2 skewers because we need 4. Like I said, you cut off the tip because we don't need the sharp part. Cut it off like that. Then you get your glue and combine the 2. And combine the top part. You add the glue at the top. Hold it together. You hold them together. When I mean hold them together is you're holding the two sticks plus the glue together. You do the same in the middle. Like that. The last part. which is the bottom part. So make sure you hold the bottom part as well, and make sure you put enough glue so that it doesn't come off, because with this one it's starting to come off because I did not put enough glue. So I'm putting more glue to it. Don't mind the mess that the glue gives. That's the reason why we have our ribbon here. It's going to cover up all this mess and it won't show. Okay, so we've done the second one. So we're doing the last one because we already have this one here. So we're supposed to have 4 of them. So we're doing the last two skewers. As usual, we're cutting off the sharp ends and making sure it's smooth by cutting off the excess that remains. And we're just going to put that on the side. And then we're going to get our glue and stick them on together like I'm doing right now. If you can see, my glue stick is on top of a red pepper. The reason why I do that is because when glue is getting hot, it drips, it melts and it starts to drip right by the tip of the gun. So what we don't want is to have the glue go onto our tables or our surfaces where we're working. That's the reason why I've put this paper. You can even use some cardboard alternatively, just to secure your surface if you don't want the glue to stick onto your surface. So you can just make sure you put a paper or a cardboard just to prevent that from happening. That's the reason why you can see there's a red pepper right at the bottom of the glue. So we're still in the sticking process, and we're just making sure the 2 skewers hold together by simply pressing them together with the glue. Okay, so right now I have finished with sticking the skewers that I'm using. Remember I said I only need 4, and I have already wrapped 1. So now I'm going into the wrapping process. Remember this wrapped one that I showed you? I'm going to do this with the rest of the skewers. So let's do that together by pulling off our ribbon, enough ribbon that we need to wrap our skewers. And we're going to get our glue, apply it at the tip of the ribbon, and we're going to start rolling our ribbon onto the skewers like I'm doing. So the rolling process is basically very simple. All you do is just secure it at the top or this side, depending on which side you're going to start with, and you just start rolling it and making sure as you are rolling, you're going right at the bottom, okay? You're dropping the ribbon slowly like I'm doing, and you are twisting the skewers. The twisting itself is helping us to cover the ribbon around the skewer, okay? And you need to make sure you are holding the ribbon firm, because what you don't want is for you to let go and then you have to literally start all over again. So you have to make sure you keep rolling and rolling and rolling like you've never rolled before. So do that until you get to the end of the skewer, and get your glue as usual and hold it. So I'm using a glue gun and a glue stick. Alternatively, you can use any other type of glue that's able to do the same type of job that I'm doing. But you know how loyal my co-host is. So I always love, this is my preferred glue. But if you have any other glue that can work, that can give you the outcome that you're looking for, you can actually use any glue. But I love to use my glue gun and my glue stick. That's why you see it in most of my tutorials, that I always use it literally all the time because it's easy to work with. So the same process that we did on this one is the same thing that we're doing on this one as well. You stick your ribbon at the beginning of you stick your ribbon at the tip of the kebab stick, and then you start rolling it down like I'm doing. So I'm rolling it and going down like that. So the twisting of the kebab sticks is what's helping the ribbon to be rolled onto the skewers. Okay. And it's pretty much fun, yeah? And I know for sure that if you try this, you actually enjoy it. It's very, very enjoyable. It's an enjoyable process. And we are done with sticking our second one. So we're going to put our glue as usual, and we're going to press hold like that, making sure that it's holding firm, and we cut off the excess with our pair of scissors. Then let's go on to rolling the last skewer. So we have rolled 3 so far. Now we're rolling on the last skewer. I'm sure some of you will just be wondering, thinking like I'm so much of a pink girl. Like, she's wearing a pink coat, she's got pink ribbon. It's all about pink, but it's not like that. It's just that, you know, sometimes you have to work with what you have. That's the thing with DIY. It's making your life easy. So you work with whatever you have in your space. And what I had in my space was pink ribbon. So instead of me going out there to look for another color, I worked with what I already had. So most of the things that I'm using right now are things that I already had in my space. So I just got this, got that, and here I am, giving you that tutorial on how to make your hair accessory holder or organizer. Okay, so let's go. Still rolling, still rolling. I made this for my daughter. She really loves it. And every time I buy her something hair related, a clip or a headband, she's very excited to go and put it on her hair accessory organizer. And it looks absolutely so pretty. And I will show you that at the end of our tutorial. I'll definitely show you a picture of how the organizer looks. So let's keep rolling, keep rolling. And you know, some of our, in most cases, our children, our daughters and our nieces or school children rather, especially the girls, you find when you give them you put like a hair accessory on their head, sometimes you'll find that it doesn't come back. It goes missing, or maybe it comes home, but you don't know where the child put it. So this is the reason why I'm showing you how you can make this organizer to help you, because I had that problem with my daughter. Sometimes she'd have a clip, she'll put it on at school, she comes back from school, or she comes back from church, or she comes back from her birthday party, and she just throws it, she just puts it anyhow, and then after some time she'll start looking for it. I can't see my hair piece, I can't see my hairband, I can't see my clip. Then I just decided, okay, to avoid this from happening, let me just make this organizer for her. And it's really helped me out, and also helped her, because now her accessories are organized very well. And she didn't have to sing about where she put it or who got it, because she just puts it right on the shelf, or rather right on the organizer once she's done with using it. Okay, so at this point I'm done with rolling our skewers, and this is what we get. So what you're going to do is you're going to space them like I'm doing like that, okay? You space them out like the way I've done right now, and you're going to get your ribbon. And you have to make sure you combine all these skewers together. So we're going to combine this end, this side, and we're also going to combine this side using our ribbon and of course our glue. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the bottom, okay? We're going to start with the bottom up. You can either start from the top down, but since if it's going to be your first time doing this, it's easier for you to start from the bottom up, because it's easier, because all you're doing is you're going to just make a knot at the bottom like that. Make a knot onto the skewer with your ribbon like that. Tie it. Again, you tie. Make sure you tie it 2 times, like what I'm doing. Okay, like that. And add a little bit of glue right on the knot so that you secure the knot, okay? And press it. Make sure you do that, do not forget. If you don't do that, it can come out and you have to start tying all over again. So you have to make sure you add a little bit of glue, and then you cut off the excess like that. So once you have done this, you're going to do the same onto the other one, and you have to make sure you leave space, okay? You leave space, you do the same onto the other one, create your knot, because I have to cut off this side, like that. So you do the same with the other one, and create your knot, like that. Remember to make sure there's space between the two skewers as you are tying. Make your other knot. The knot is skitting, they want to tie. I don't know what's going on right here, but it's part of the process. You don't have to panic, you don't have to rush, you just have to make sure you get the job done. That's what's important. So that's why you have to be very patient when doing these things. So we have tied that one also. I know I added glue onto the first knot, but we're going to add glue onto the second knot. First, let's finish with the tying process. Then we're going to add our glue to secure. So I've tied my other one. I'm tying the other one now. The first knot. I'm tying the other one. There we go. And we're going to tie on this other side as well. Remember to create that space in between. Do not forget that. Do not forget that. Tie. And you tie the other one. Okay, so we have tied the knot on all these 4 skewers on one side. So we're going to do the same on the other side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get more ribbon to do the same process on the other side. Okay, like what I'm doing right now. And remember what we started with? We started with tying this side. Now we're tying the other side. I'm just trying to move this knot closer this side because it's, yes, there we go. So let's tie this other side as well. Same process, right at the tip of the, you can even actually glue it on, but I'm using this process as well of tying in case you don't have your glue gun. That's the reason why I'm also using the tying process. If you don't have your glue gun, you can even just tie without putting the glue. As long as your knot is as firm as possible, there's no problem. So now we're going to make sure we have the same distance here before making our knot on the other side. Make sure you tie it as firm as possible, like that. We have to cut off the excess. Sorry, we forgot to cut off the excess. Have to make sure you cut off the excess. Don't worry about starting all over again. It's part of the process. It's part of the process because what you want is to get a perfectly done craft at the end of the day. So don't worry about the starting again. You have to ensure that you get the perfect craft at the end of the day. So we're still making we're making our knots and we're tying our last knot. Okay, there we go. So once you've done that, remember to create that space in between. So make sure you make the 2 knots that we've been doing on the others. Making sure the space is even now. Okay, make the other knot. And then we tie the last knot onto this. So before tying the last knot, you have to make sure you straighten them out like that so that you tie it properly. Okay, so let's tie the last knot onto our organizer. Okay, so there we go, tying our last knot onto our organizer, like what I'm doing right now. Make sure you tie the other knot. Like that. And once you have done that, at this point, you're going to make sure you tie this side to the other side. And you have to make sure you tie it like a triangle, okay? So when you tie it like this, it's going to give you like that of a shape of a triangle. That's why I was saying, make sure it's like a triangle. So make sure you make your knot there. Alternatively, you can't even, if you want, you shouldn't tie it. What you can do is you can actually tie it onto the nail. If you're going to have it, you have to, the way you secure this is you have to hook it on a nail on the wall. So if you have the nail, you can actually tie it directly to the wall. Or you can do what I'm doing. You can make the knot in advance and then you just hook it directly on the nail. So I've made the little knot there, and this is what we get after we have made our knot. This is what we get, okay? So what we're going to do now is we are going to make our ribbon on the top like that, because we want to add some detail. Okay, we'll make our ribbon at the top of the knot, like what I'm doing right now. I'm making a ribbon at the top of the knot. Make sure you pull it and you cut off part of the excess ribbon, like that. You put the excess ribbon on the side, and this is what we get. This is what we get. A pretty hair organizer. This is what we get. So at this point, you can actually even make some ribbons and stick them onto the organizer, like what I'm going to do right now. The same ribbon we made here, we're going to make the same ribbon for the same knots, to cover the knots that we're tying. If you want, you can cover all the knots. If you want, you can cover part of the knots. So let's make our ribbons together. And once we make our ribbons together, I've turned on my glue gun in readiness to stick them on. We make our ribbons. I've made one already. And all you do is just hold the two ends and pull like that and make. So this one is too short, so I will not even use it. I'm just showing you how you can make your ribbon like that, and make sure you pull the ends like that. Pull the ends like that until you get your defined ribbon like that. So let's get the longer ribbons so that we can have a properly done ribbon. So like that. Same procedure, and you pull. Same procedure and you pull. You do the same on the other side. So we're going to stick them right in the middle. The two skewers are the ones we're only sticking. The outer ones won't stick, but if you like, you can actually stick onto all of them. Okay. We've made the third ribbon, and now we're making the last ribbon. Then we stick it onto the knots on the skewer. Okay, like that. And if you want your skewers to be actually thicker than what I've done, you can actually even stick 3 or 4 together. Then you roll the ribbon if you want it to be thicker, especially if you're making it for yourself as an adult. Because obviously your accessories are heavier than that of a child. So you can make the skewers thicker so that it can be ideal to hold your accessories together. So right now I'm making one for the children, but if you are making your own organizer, you can actually make sure it's thicker. So now I've put glue onto my ribbon and I'm sticking the knot with the glue, and I'm pressing to ensure that it's holding firm, okay? Like what I'm doing right now. So I'm also going to stick the last side of the organizer. Okay, so I'll just pull it like that. And stick. So now we're sticking our last ribbon onto our organizer by adding the glue, same process that we've been doing, and sticking it onto our knot right on the kebab stick that's been wrapped with our ribbon. And make sure you press, hold, to ensure that our glue holds firm, okay? So we are going to go on a break, and when we come back, as usual, we're coming back to show off our beautiful piece, and also I'll give you some pictures on how it looks when you actually have the clips on. Stay tuned. Welcome back. So before we went on our break, I ran you through the process of making this hair organizer, and I gave you the items that you need to make this hair organizer. And this is our final product of our hair organizer. And I will lift it so that you can see how beautiful it looks. This is how it looks. That's our organizer, and I'm turning it round for you to see, like that. That's our pretty hair organizer. So with this hair organizer, you can actually add your clips. If you have your clips, if you have your headbands, if you have your anything to do with your hair accessories, you can add them onto this hair organizer. You can actually even use it to hook maybe some of your earrings or accessories that you have that this organizer can hold. You can use this for the same purpose. And as you can see on the screens, that's how it looks once you have put your accessories onto your organizer. They look neat and organized. There's no more losing those accessories in your house or in your space. You simply have somewhere where you can put those accessories in an organized way. So let me run you through the process, a quick process of how you can make this hair organizer. The first thing you need is your skewers, your glue and your glue stick, or any other glue that you have that can work. Same purpose with a glue gun. And of course your pair of scissors, and all you do is, if you have a thick kebab stick, just roll on your ribbon until it's covered, or you can actually, if you have smaller ones like the ones I used, you can make them thick by combining them together and then wrapping them with your ribbon. When you're done, you combine them with the ribbon and add your little ribbons onto the knots that you have made, and you have yourself a lovely looking hair organizer. I hope you run through this process with me, and I hope you're going to make this on your own by simply doing it yourself. Thank you so much for catching up with me, Chilamo Zulu, aka Chichi Badu. Until next time, it's bye.